I want to turn my attention to you, Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago. As I've watched you over the last 2 years that you've been mayor, I've been amazed at how tone deaf you have been and how oblivious you've been to the decline of Chicago. And I say that looking objectively at a number of things. Out of control crime in Chicago, people scared throughout neighborhoods on the west side, south side, north side. Morale has never been lower with law enforcement and CPD. Record number of police officers leaving the force. We have been hemorrhaging people out of the city of Chicago to the suburbs and elsewhere where they feel safe. Record number of businesses fleeing the city of Chicago. You couple that with record deficits. $2 billion deficit, $2 billion deficit line of credit that you just had to take out this week. But you've spent $300 million of taxpayer money on illegal immigrants. And when I think about all of those things and I look at the strategy you continue to take, I mean, you're putting the interest of illegal immigrants above the interest of taxpayers in Chicago. But you continue to go down this path, and for the life of me, I can't understand it. So, Mayor, tell me why you continue to put the interest of illegal immigrants above taxpayers in Chicago.
Thank you for your representation. Violent crime is down in Chicago.
Well, let me reclaim my time. So I have a statistic here. Last year, Chicago had 573 murders.
Down.
Okay, but I want to compare that to the city of New York that is almost two-thirds the size of Chicago, 337 murders. So you had 573 murders in the city of Chicago, and you're one-third the size.
That's the lowest amount in 5 years under my leadership.
Okay, and
Mayor Johnson, how about you? How many, according to my records, you have welcomed 51,648 illegal aliens to your sanctuary city. So I'd ask you, sanctuary from what?
If you're referring to the number of individuals that were bused from Governor Abbott without any coordination, the 52,000 individuals that were seeking asylum, those individuals were bused to us. I passed a bus ordinance to work to coordinate with the governor of Texas. He refused to do that. But that transfer of individuals was the result of the governor of Texas, not the result of a welcoming city ordinance.
Welcoming city ordinance. So you're not welcoming these people that came here illegally?
The individuals that were bused to us from the border. From
They were not
Governor
welcome in Chicago? You didn't welcome them? You didn't provide them sanctuary?
So the welcoming city ordinance is pretty straightforward. It allows for our local law enforcement to focus on local policies, and that's why we're seeing a decline in violence.
So you don't care about federal law enforcement policies, only local policies?
We comply with all laws. What I do care about is this body, Washington, passing comprehensive immigration
So let me ask you this. Chicago residents reported 28,443 violent crimes during 2024 alone, cases of aggravated assault rising to the highest level in 2 decades. Now, also, state funds, $160 million, were issued to illegal alien job assistance shelters in Chicago. You're the mayor of Chicago. Do you think that your residents or the residents of your state should be paying for that more than they should be paying for their own needs, their own roads, their own public safety? I mean, who elected you? The people that came illegally, whether they were sent to you or not, or the people that reside in Chicago? Who elected you? And who do you serve?
The people of Chicago elected me as the 57th mayor of the city of Chicago, and we serve all the residents of the city of Chicago.
All right, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. You seen it for yourself right there, man. How they coming at Mayor Johnson. You know, Brandon Johnson, he had to definitely go see the actual government this week. And it's been crazy. You know, they not letting him or those other mayors get off easy for just, you know, giving resources to the people that don't even live in America, that just came here, you know what I mean? And I didn't try to keep up with this stuff, but, you know, it's election time and the new president and everything is just kind of right there in your face. And so it's kind of like then you see them having to come be actually brought to come talk to Congress. And, that's not a good look for nobody, because it's like, who the hell want to go all the way to D.C. and then be grilled by their bosses? You know what I'm saying? But they was kind of rogue, if you want to think about it in America. They were kind of rogue. They were going off of the last president's idealism and everything like that. And they became rogue, basically only want to believe in what the immigration situation was for those people, and leaving all of the issues that other cultures in America got, or other situations, financial situations, health situations, anything. It was just, we're going to put you on the sideline and we're going to focus on these people. Obviously, Trump came in and started rounding people up. And then here come those people, the same mayors in all these Democratic cities, and saying, we're not going to participate. We're not going to actually allow the government to come and get these people. We're going to tell our cops not to actually participate in this, which again is like treasonous, is going against America, and it's going against your job. Like, who can do that at their job? Go in the job and be like, no longer are we going to be doing this at the company. We're going to stop. They don't do that at their jobs. You know what I'm saying? If they do, it's a union involved and all this stuff. Otherwise, they're going to kick you out of there, get security, run you up out of there, because you're stopping people from taking care of their family and paying bills. So who are you? But I guess, they thought this was the right thing to do. So they just believed this was the right thing to do. But obviously, by seeing this all play out, it wasn't. It was a dumb thing to do, because now, they got to go and face the music. And these people are not nice to them. They talking at them and being aggressive towards them and all that stuff. And then what can you say? They kind of repeating the same thing and sounding kind of silly, because they basically followed the last government ideals and thought that was going to carry over. And then a lot of those mayors don't really, it's not necessarily their fault. And that's how they looking at it. Like, well, the governors from the states that's like California, New York, Florida and Texas, they sent those people here. So we just going to take care of the people that come to our town. We're not going to judge them in the wrong way. We're not going to, make them face no kind of particular justice, because they already under scrutiny. And then it's like, is that the right way to be? Should you, round them back up and send them back? It put those mayors in a really precarious situation, because everybody's not going to know what to do. So they talking to their people, their team members, and making decisions. And it just so happened that that's just not the right moves. So the biggest part is that now we're in another stage of this thing, and those guys and girls, those mayors, they being called out, and the old boy from New York, he's under duress. They trying to lock him up. You know what I'm saying? So in another case, you know what I'm saying? And they brought that up here too. His representatives from New York that was at the meeting. So, but Brandon Johnson got his hands filled. And I want to know what y'all think about all of that too, because, I don't think that they necessarily was doing nothing wrong, trying to look out for humans that breathe and didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? They not necessarily criminals and stuff like that. They came here under the, fleeing from the country they from. But technically, if you come to a country and outstay your visas or whatever, maybe you was here for school, you was here for work, or you was visiting somebody and you overstay it, you automatically illegal. So the idea that a person is not illegal unless they do a crime, that's hoopla. That's not even real. Oh, we only looking out for violent criminals. We only want to get rid of the people that are doing criminal activity. It don't matter if you're doing criminal activity. You came to a country illegally. That's the crime. It don't matter if you didn't do another crime when you came here, but if you worked and you got a job or a corporation, or you became successful or a celebrity, at the end of the day, you made it to America and you utilized the laws to succeed, not thinking about the people in America who can't utilize those same laws. Like I heard a person on NPR, he was, I think he said he was Venezuelan. I'm not sure exactly. El Salvadorian, that's what he said. He said he was El Salvadorian. And he said that he came here with his wife in Chicago 10 years ago. And he said, so when they got here, they outstayed their visa. They just overstayed. He said they both got jobs. He started working in the restaurant area, just living that way, learning how the restaurant game worked. And then he said they came with biting and was like, yo, you got to get them driver's license. You got to get them loans from banks. You got to get them places to stay. So he went to the bank and was like, yo, I want to open up an El Salvadorian restaurant. They said, bet. So they gave him the money. Then he went back. He stacked his money. He opened up 2 restaurants. He sold only El Salvadorian food to only El Salvadorians. Chicago is kind of gentrified like that, where it's just kind of sectional. Only those people is in that particular section. It might be like that in your town too, or it might be blended like New York. So, but particularly this guy said that after he opened his restaurants, he's feeding his people. He had got enough money. Now he went to the bank and said, yo, I want to own this property. It's a building I want to buy. They gave him the loan for the property. So he jumped into a property. Now he said he owned 5 properties, got about 3 or 4 restaurants. This guy's success story, right? 10 years in Chicago, he made it. But now he was scared, and this guy started crying on that show. And he started crying, saying, man, you know, this was playing on the radio, NPR, National Public Radio, and he started crying. And he was like, man, but now Trump is looking for me, and ICE is looking for me, so if they grab me, I'm going to end up losing everything, and this whole thing go under. And He's explaining himself. And I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm thinking to myself, he got a tragic situation. Obviously, he came to a country not knowing things was going to change and as fast as it did. But look about the Americans who've already been here. How many times have you heard that black people could go to banks to try to get loans and can't get them? How many times have you heard black people go and try to buy property and can't get it? How many times you heard black people try to say, I want to move in this area, and a redlining situation pop up? So you said to me, it's okay for Biden and them to pass these laws for these guys and girls to come to here and benefit 100% of the taxes from Americans, but we can't go nowhere. I can't go to El Salvador and say, woo, I can pop over here and I'm going to live by this beach. I can't go to some other state and say, well, I'm done with Chicago. Let me go over here to this state and go to the bank and say, I want to move in over there. We don't even have that immigration status. We basically Americans. So you can't benefit at all from what they got going on. And it's crazy. You know, it's like, wait a minute. I go in there and say, hey, I want to get a house, or I want to buy a property, or I want a loan for my company, or I want to get this. And they go say, yo, let me see your paperwork. Oh, your credit like this. Oh, you got student loan payments you got to do. Da, da, da. Well, yeah, that's all success story shit. I was trying to make it. Yeah, I'm sorry, but until you do this and meet this level, you can't do that. Get out of my office. But you could just walk in here and say, hey, you see what Biden said? We can get this. Bam, I'm in this joint. I'm working. I'm getting money. So it's really making it uneven. And then you talk about people who black has been here 400 years, still dealing with the same racism, still dealing with the same degradation towards us as in our race, but then another culture is just going to be elevated above us in 5 seconds. They'll be able to put white on their forms. They'll be able to move into the neighborhoods and live and work in these companies' jobs, be corporate CEOs if they choose to. And we got to keep being like, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Not saying that you need the government to help you, but imagine if the government was helping you just like those people or these other people that come to America and get loans from the company for their companies or open up stores in black communities. And now we can't open the store. The whole building been standing there for 14 years. They'll come and renovate that joint, and it's a candy store, it's a liquor store, it's a hair salon. Same building. We've been walking past it since you was a teenager. And now they pop up and it's a storefront now. And you're like, well, damn, why couldn't the church help us get that? Why couldn't none of the CEOs or no rappers or nothing like that help us open this? We could have sold something right there. It's like, nope, now you got the Arabs or the Asians or whoever that's going to be there, and they'll be there. They're not going to go. If they close the company, it's going to always be their culture in that building selling, whether it's a gas station or whatever. And you're seeing it, right? Matter of fact, we have to go give them money because there's nobody else selling in our hood. So if you go up to the paper, that's who you're giving your money to. And then they'll jump in the car and drive out to the suburbs where they live when it's day over. You stuck in your hood like, okay, I got to wait for them open back up in the morning. So just basically open the ranks for other people who are from here. See our plight, see our cultural standpoint. Don't just say, okay, you came from another country, let's open a floodgate for you and make sure you can stay here forever. That's fine if that's what you're going to do, but let it be even, because guess what? That's our tax money that we spending on food, that we spending from our jobs, that we spending from our companies. That's our tax money. And then you just pass it to these people. They ask them at the place, how much money did you spend? Mayor John's like, I don't know. You don't know? So it's like, this is stuff they got to stop. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the right thing to do to have us sit up here and be choked out in America, not being able to utilize the way to make money. I just don't like it. So I appreciate y'all watching. I want y'all to let me know in the comment section what you think. You heard some of this stuff. It's intriguing. It's good information. It's out there. And let me know what y'all think about this. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll holler at y'all. Peace.